Oh yeah, it's beautiful out here.
You have got to love November in Texas. I mean, really doesn't get much better. Mid 70s, ooh, super bright. Mid 70s, beautiful day. Oh, whereas where I moved from when I started this channel was Minneapolis, Minnesota, and that was not a good place for a car channel whatsoever, because 6 to 7 months out of the year you can't do anything with cars. Well, not the cars I like. If you're into 4x4s or things with tracks or studded tires, then you could do a lot, but cars not so much. Anyway, what's going on, bros? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. We got a lot of stuff coming up. Today we're actually working on the OG of the channel. We're working on the E36 S54. First, the real OG. What's up, bud?
Hey, bud. This guy is just not so sneaky anymore. He's getting old. Keep it real, buddy. Oh yeah, we're working on this guy today. Good stuff going on this guy.
Now what I'm doing today isn't anything you guys want a video on. I'm replacing the coils, and I was kind of gonna work on it and talk at the same time, because man, what I wanted to go over today is just what I've learned from a year of doing YouTube. Now I started this channel, if you go all the way back, I started a long time ago. Now for those of you that complain that I talk too much in videos, this is gonna be one of those. So if you don't like that, you're not gonna like this. But I started this channel like 4 or 5, no longer, many years ago, when I had my C63 Black Series. But the problem with that is I had a Black Series, a rear-wheel drive supercar, sports car, when I lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was in Arizona when I started it, but that was only for like 2-3 months while my brother had his first child with his wife. We went there, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, when I got back to Minneapolis, Minnesota, it was basically winter. Couldn't really do much, so the channel really died off. Looking back, I wish I would have figured out a way to keep it going, because all the guys that got started around the same time I got started now have like 1 million+ subs, so I kind of screwed the pooch on that one. But it's okay.
Oh gosh, I love this car. So today, like I said, we're doing coils because I'm getting coil pack number 5 is failing, so I'm gonna replace them all anyway. I don't know how long these coils have been in there. It's just better to do it and do them all, so it's not too big of a job.
I did want to talk while I work and talk about what I've learned over the past year of doing YouTube, because I started this channel back up roughly a little over a year ago. Has it been 2 years? No, I think it's been 2 years. Let's see, January, I got the S2000. Yeah, 1.5 to 2 years. I started
On this E36 probably closer to 1.5 to 2 years ago. And yeah,
I've learned a lot. If you are interested in doing car YouTube stuff, oof. Let's talk about a few things. First, if you want to get into project cars, bust out your wallet, because it is expensive.
I'm doing the coils. The coils, if you wanted to go buy them from BMW, they're like, I want to say they're like $98 a piece from BMW for the S54. But if you get them from online, I think I got mine from Turner. I think I got a set of 6 OEM coils for like $149 for all of them. So yeah, go that route.
So when I reference when I started doing YouTube, that is going to be when I started doing it 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. When I started with the E36 project, that's when I consider when I started doing YouTube, because the Black Series, although I wish I would have continued from that point on, I didn't, and the channel took like a 4-year hiatus, so it wasn't really anything done. I didn't do anything. I wasn't trying. All right, so I started doing this with the intention of having this channel go towards project cars, because when I had the Black Series and when I had the R8, those are awesome cars, don't get me wrong. But there's nothing to really do with those. I mean, if you want to modify them, they're just stupid expensive to modify. And, you know, I'm not much of the, I want to go get pulled over by the cops type of guy for views, or I'm going to go do burnouts and donuts in the middle of the street. And I really didn't feel like just beating up on those cars just for the sake of a YouTube channel. That to me seems a little silly. And I'm just not that type of person. So I wanted to do project cars, something I could buy, rebuild, have fun with, take to the track. And that was my main thing. I wanted to rebuild cars, or, you know, not refurbish, but take a beaten up car like this was, and beaten up and forgotten about, and do this type of stuff to it, and then take it to the track. And I love track days. I'm all about that. So that gave this channel a purpose, and it gave it something more than just, you know, let's go get pulled over by the cops or go race stupid cars on the freeway. That to me is, I don't know, maybe I'm too old for that. This gave me a little bit of a purpose and a reason to do this, and something that, you know, somebody who's interested in doing this could benefit from watching these. And I could learn something from it too. I'm all about that. Oh yeah. Duh, you need to take this off first. So what happened was I spent a ton of money redoing this car, had a ton of fun with it, learned an absolute ton. I got the E36 done, was taking it to the track and having absolute gas with it. I was doing the typical, I want to look on Craigslist for things I don't need thing, and I found the S2000. I wasn't planning on getting another project car so quickly, but that was a fantastic deal, and I've always wanted another S2000. That's my third one. I love those cars. They're absolutely phenomenal cars. They're great. So I picked up the S2000, put a ton of money into that, and actually, when I got the S2000, like in January of 2020, everything shut down. All the tracks that I normally go to, they all shut down right around that time because of COVID, if you hadn't heard. So I started rebuilding the S2000, spent a ton on it, had a goal for it, had a reason behind it. And again, when you're starting YouTube and doing this stuff, these projects, what I'm getting to with this, I could go on forever about how much this costs. What I'm getting to is, if you're doing this for a project channel or that type of layout, it's really expensive. And when you're first starting YouTube, you don't make any money, like any money at all. In fact, I didn't, the entire time I was building the E36, I wasn't monetized. I became monetized when I started the S2000. And even then I hit, you know, 1,000 subscribers and had the amount of watch hours that you need. But I mean, being monetized at that really means you're making like $50 a month, maybe at most, like at most. I think now this channel with 2,600 or 2,500, whatever it is, I think on a good month I might make $100. I mean, that's not going to fill up the gas for these project cars. And not to mention, when you have 3 project cars, remember that means you have 3 gas tanks to fill up. You have 12 tires to replace. You have however many quarts of oil. When one thing breaks on a project car, the E92, for example, is a great reason, or a great example. The E92, I'm having a friend replace the rear diff bushing because you need a special tool to remove the rear diff bushing. But the valve cover gaskets were leaking horribly well. He's a professional mechanic. He knows how to do this stuff. He's done it before. It's in his shop. He said, hey, I'll cut you a deal. You want to do valve? Cool, I'll do valve cover gaskets 3. That's awesome. Well, the valve covers are also really shut. What I'm getting to is things compound. With this, for example, I'm changing the coil packs on the S54. There's probably a myriad of other things that I should be replacing as well, but once you go down that rabbit hole, it doesn't really stop. And not to mention, you can have a channel that just does track days, but that's expensive. You have tires, you have brakes, you have fluids, and not to mention you could wreck, it's very, very expensive. So if you want to do something like that, there's got to be, and this is something I still struggle with, you have to find filler content that is good. I was trying to do content on Mondays for making money, because I do internet marketing. A lot of people are interested in that. I was trying to give little tips and tricks on how to make money online. The videos weren't doing, they literally, no one liked them. They were horrible. No one found them helpful whatsoever. So I stopped doing them. But you have to be putting out constant content that people like. It's not easy to do, especially when you have a full-time job. Now mine is, I work for myself, still a full-time job if you want to be successful at it. I don't know many guys that really don't have to do anything throughout the day. Even the gurus you see, they're like, oh, I can work when I want. I can work when I want. For sure, I can work when I want, but you still have to work. And for someone like me, it's important to have a schedule. It's important to get things done in a timely manner. So that comes at the cost of not being able to dedicate yourself to your side hustle, which makes $100 a month and couldn't pay for the gas in any of your cars. I gotta change the battery. So the key, and I'm not saying the key like I mastered it, but the important thing is to figure out a way to produce constant content that encompasses what you want the channel to be about. Like I said, I tried to do money making videos on my car channel and they were horrible. No one liked them. They were not useful to the channel at all. So it wasn't providing any value. I can't just buy parts and work on these cars all day, every day, because A, I'm not made of money. These parts are expensive. These cars are expensive. And B, I don't have the time to turn a wrench on these cars all the time. Like I said, my E92 is getting rear diff bushings and a valve cover gasket replaced, and valve cover gaskets. And I wanted to do the valve cover gaskets on my own, but I'd rather have the car be drivable, and I don't have the time to do that right now. I'm stuck doing stuff on both these, and he knows what he's doing on that. It'll take him, the time cost is worth it for him to do it over what it would take me and take from my day to do it. It's worth it for him, for me to pay him to do it, if that makes sense. So that brings me back to figuring out a way to provide constant content for the channel that you were trying to make, making it about the channel, making it fluid with what you're trying to make your channel about. And when you're starting, trying not to spend $1 bazillion. Now, there are two ways to go about this, and I've seen both approaches on YouTube. One is to just have a lot of money. It's just a lot of money, and have a plan and an investment and look at this like a serious business, like it can be. Daily Driven Exotics, for example, they put a lot of money into their channel. They spend a lot of money. Once you get that amount of subscribers, you can spend a ton of money to make your channel run because it will pay you back. But when you get started, that's a hard part. So A, either have a ton of money to put into the channel and realize it's just going away and it's a 5-year plan or whatever you want it to be, or B, in which I've talked to a couple people about, this type of channel, what's going on here? There we go. Works really well if, say for example, you're a mechanic or you're an auto detailer or anything like that. Like, who's the guy that does the really good, not Obsessed Garage, but the guy that does the really good detailing? It's like, he's out of New York. I forget his name. But if you can incorporate your YouTube channel into your business that already has to do with what you want your channel to be about, those go hand in hand. You won't lose money doing YouTube because you're just recording your normal job and what you already do for a living. And plus, I feel like nowadays, if you have like, I've talked to a couple of my buddies who are techs about this, like, dude, why don't you have a YouTube channel? Well, I don't want to, and I understand that. I don't like being in front of the camera. I don't like being out in public, you know, filming. Like, I feel like a goofball, but to me, it's worth it. Hopefully it'll be worth it someday to be able to do these types of things and have the channel pay for it. But in the meantime, if you have a job as like a mechanic or a detailer or a race car driver or whatever it is, and you can just film your normal daily life, and it's about this stuff, and you can make your channel about it, that's amazing. You have a win-win. You're good to go. For someone like me, that's not the case, because I work inside on the computer and I come out here and this is my free time. This is my fun time. This is what I like to do as a hobby, which, by the way, the amount of bloody knuckles I've got, the amount of time I've spent on my back under these cars. Gotta question why we like doing this. I'm just kidding. I love it. And I hope someday this channel will grow enough to pay for this stuff. I don't care if I make a dime from this channel. I don't plan on making a dime from this channel. I just want it to pay for these car builds, because that's what I love doing. You know, maybe someday I can have a shop with like maybe a partner or a mechanic or a tech, someone that knows what they're doing, so we can expedite the process of these builds, because that would be amazing. But if you're going to do this and it isn't part of your daily life and you're sacrificing your time to do this, then you either need a lot of money to buy parts for cars to film car stuff, or you have to be creative in how you film free content. Like, for example, I need to get back on filming more driving of these cars, because that's what you guys want. And that doesn't cost me anything. That is kind of the reward I get from doing all the building on these and putting all the money into it, are the videos I need to make driving it. That's something I need to be better at doing. You get in this routine, at least I do, for doing this stuff, of just buying parts. Literally, it's weird, and I don't know if you would understand, or if people would understand that who aren't doing it, but you kind of get in this routine of like, I need to buy parts, I need to do installs, I need parts, and it's like, it becomes kind of like you zone out and you think that's what you have to do. And that's kind of where I've gotten, and I need to get out of that, because I didn't just make this channel to be a look at the parts I'm buying channel. I did it literally so I could build these cars and take them to the track. That's the whole purpose. This car is purpose built to go on the track. The S2000 is more purpose built for a fun weekend cruiser or nighttime cruiser, because S2000s run hot anyway, and supercharging, you have to do a few more things to make that car track worthy as a supercharged car. It's just an amazing car, and that was my guilty. I love that car. That car is awesome. But it's just hard. And like I said, you get into this routine of just wanting to modify these cars and not really taking the time to actually film stuff. At least that's me, to take the time to actually film down like the fruits of your labor, so to speak. And that's something I need to work on. So that's part of the reason I wanted to make this video. I want to ask you guys, what other type of content do you want? Do you like track content? Because I love track content. I'm going to film as much of that as I can, regardless of what it does to this channel, because that was the purpose. So hopefully y'all like it too. More like track vlog. Look what this mod did for the track time, my progression in driving, that type of stuff. But what about like podcasts? What about like speaking about or talking with buddies about cars, or like car chat or things like that? Like, do you guys like watching that stuff? I mean, I know Obsessed Garage has a channel where he'll just wash his car for 45 minutes, record it, and that's a video, and he'll talk about future plans and stuff. I think my channel is new enough now to where even if the 2,500 of you that are here right now don't necessarily like that, that's still not a huge amount of subscribers. So I still have the chance to kind of build this channel into that, if that were my purpose, if that were what not my purpose, but if that were what I wanted this channel to be about. But I know there's a lot of other things to do, and a lot of other, ooh, come on buddy, there we go. A lot of other ways to put out content consistently that doesn't cost money, that you guys would enjoy. But on the whole, back to the topic, and I don't feel like I can talk about this like I know, because again, I only have 2,500 subscribers. I don't know this YouTube game in and out. I'm not like crushing or killing it, as the kids say. But from what I've learned, from the past year, 2 years, whatever it's been, on trying to make this work consistently or trying to grow it. A, it doesn't grow quickly. B, it takes money if you do it anything remotely close to what I'm doing. And C, you got to be consistent. And it's hard. It's really hard to stay consistent on something that doesn't give you immediate results. And when I say immediate, I use that term loosely, like very loosely, because these results don't come, they're nowhere near immediate. They're nowhere near quick. They're, I don't even know how to put it in terms of what to expect, because you cannot expect, unless somehow, you just can't. You cannot go into this hoping for instant success. In my opinion, you can't. And that all goes back to what I've said before on this channel and what I've talked to guys about this. And if you want to do a YouTube channel, it has got to be about something you're passionate about, because that's the only way you can really keep going on something that doesn't give you results, especially not quickly. You have to like doing it, regardless of whether or not you get results. If you don't get results, it doesn't matter, because that's not why you're doing it. Like I said, I'm not doing this for immediate results. I'm doing this because I would be doing this anyway, regardless of a YouTube channel. I would definitely be doing this anyway. I probably would have less project cars. I've probably gotten a little too carried away with project cars. But, you know, I learned that. Something I learned. But you've got to be passionate about this, or you've got to like what you're trying to start your channel about. And to be honest, you got to stay focused with it. Like I said, I tried to do money making videos, and those did not pan out. Those did not work well. If I wanted to do those, I need another channel. There needs to be, that just doesn't work on this channel. Guys don't like it. Now if I'm wrong, tell me, I'll get back to doing them. But the group of guys that, or the subscribers that I had before when I was trying to do it just they weren't about it. So anyway, this is kind of just a ramble, a rant about the topic, about trying to grow a YouTube channel in 2020 when, well, this goes into another topic. Literally, the barrier to entry. If that term isn't familiar to you, think of it this way. YouTube has basically a very low cost barrier to entry. Anybody with a cell phone and an internet connection can make a YouTube channel. That barrier to entry is very low. Whereas, say you want to get into, I don't know, I was looking at ATM businesses for a while. You want to get into ATM businesses, that's fine, but the barrier to entry is a little bit higher, because you got to pay for the machine, you got to pay for the money to stock the machine, and then you got to pay the location that wants the machine. Then you have to service it. You have to be dedicated to servicing that machine. So the barrier to entry is a little bit higher. Still not astronomical, but there are businesses where you need, $50,000 to get started. That's a higher barrier to entry. YouTube barrier to entry, mega low, super low. And how many people do you know on YouTube that have a channel about nothing? It's just their vlog. It's just their cell phone and it's their daily life. Like, that doesn't cost them anything. It's just consistency, and that's what they do. I personally find those channels boring. I don't want to see your life. No offense to anyone, but I just don't. Okay, that's all good. I think we're good, bro. Let's try and start it up, see what happens. Oh yeah, baby, she's purring. Don't mind that check engine light. That's a video coming soon. I'm gonna tell you why that check engine light is on, and for anyone wanting to S54 swap their E36, what they're gonna have to do for that, because that and the no AC, there's a way to make this work. I'll tell you about that in another video. All right, good to go. So that's kind of my rant for the day, guys. Like I said, this is not a cheap thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. I will admit, lately I've gotten carried away with the parts install videos, I got this part. I don't know why. It just becomes, after you do it for a while, it becomes like, oh, I need to buy this so I can upgrade the car so I can make a video. As opposed to, and you guys asked for it too, as opposed to like, and here's the thing that bothers me. I'm the exact same way on all these big YouTubers channels. I always leave comments of like when they say, what do you want to see? I'm like, dude, drive the freaking car. Like that's what I want to see. And I haven't been doing that. So I need to get back to that. That is a free way, not a free, but it's what I built these cars for, and it's what you guys want to see. So I'm definitely going to start doing more of that, because I have this car, the supercharged S2000, which I want to race against this car. I think that'll be a phenomenal race. I think actually it's going to be really close. That has no torque at all. This has torque, but not a ton, but way more than that. So anyway, getting sidetracked. That's going to do it for this one, boys. A little bit of a different video. But, you know, just want to, it's kind of an update and kind of a, you know, if you want to get started, this is what I've learned on this channel. I'm recording. So if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe. I hope you guys are doing well. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.